Okay, y'all, welcome back to the channel. I'm Mike with Fowler Family Farm. If you watched one of my previous videos, we're building a buck pen. I told you I was going to build a buck hut and I'd put it in a separate video. That's what this is. We're going to use 2x4s and fence pickets to make this buck hut. Real simple, 3 walls, nothing special, a slight angle at the top to get the rain to come off. Really simple. So let's get started on that. Okay, so the 2 sides are going to be 6 feet long. The back of the shelter, or buck box, or buck shelter, whatever we're going to call it, will be 4 feet 8 inches is what I've come up with. Right now what I'm doing is I'm cutting 4 2x4s at 6 feet, and I'm going to cut 2 2x4s a little short of 4 and 8 inches, 4 feet and 8 inches, and I'll show you why here in a little bit. So overall the shelter will be 6 feet long by 4 feet and 8 inches wide. Okay, so I have the fence pickets laid out on my 2 of my 2x4s. Let me show you on this angle. So I've got a 2x4 here and a 2x4 here at the 5 feet mark. This 2x4 right here, I'm going to angle to the 6 feet mark. So it'll be the slope of the roof, this top 2x4 will. And if I feel like that's not sturdy enough, I'll probably add a 2x4 in the middle as well, just to give it more stability. It probably needs it, to be honest with you. Okay, so what I did was I put 1 screw right here, just one, so that this board underneath the 2x4 can pivot and swivel. So we're gonna go to the other end and pull the 2x4 to the top edge of that, very top edge of that board, yeah. Is that at the very top edge? Mm-hmm. Okay, let's put a screw in that one. All right, we got those 2 in. So now that's the angle I want out of this wall for the slope of the roof. So when this wall is completely built, I'll be able to flip it over and use my saw right along the edge of this 2x4 and cut all this off. All right, we're gonna go ahead and put 1 more screw here. Whoop. Because now I got to come in and set this where I want it. I think I'm going to come up just a smidgen more, and we'll make sure it's all even. All right, this looks good here. So now all I got to do is make sure each board is butt up against this one at the bottom, and all my heights will be good. I can already tell you I'm gonna have to add a board in the middle because a lot of these are warped. I know a lot of y'all are probably wondering if I'm leaving gaps on here, like you do in a regular fence, but I'm really not worried about it. This is a temporary deal. It's not meant for like heavy duty stuff. It's not meant to last forever. And if I do get some gaps and the wind comes through, I mean, that's really what he needs it for, is the cold weather and the rain. So I'm gonna try to not have too many gaps. All right, so you don't have to watch the rest of them. I'm gonna go ahead and go do the bottom row, this whole bottom row here. Okay, so you can see this board is done for the most part, except for the very last piece, which is the piece we used for the angle. So now I'm gonna undo this last piece because you can see there's a pretty good gap. So I'm gonna scoot it over and we'll redo it, but we're gonna start from the bottom when we undo that one. So one thing I did realize after I did a couple of these, You need to put one screw in, not both down here. Put one screw in, go back to the top, and push that board over and put one screw in. And I'm gonna show you with this one. So I'm gonna put one screw in right here. Okay, I'm not putting this one in yet. And then I come down right here. I'm gonna use these same holes. And I'm gonna pull this board over to close this gap the best I can. It's not gonna close all the way. And then I go ahead and put the second screw in. And on this one, I'm gonna go ahead and put 3. Because there's nothing down here. There's nothing for it to screw into here. Now, you go back and put the one screw in that you left over there. Okay, so this is what I was talking about, flipping this board over and cutting along this angle. I'm just using my cordless saw to cut this. It's not going all the way through on all of them for some reason, but that'll be an easy fix at the end. All right, so for the most part, it did it. Like that one there.
It's just a thicker board.
Yeah, it's probably just a thicker board or it's bowed or something.
Voila.
Then, there we go. Looks good. All right, Tanya, stand that up and, no, I'm teasing.
No.
Come over here. So this will basically be one side, and I'll duplicate this identical to it. And now you can see the pitch of the roof. They'll walk in right through here where it's 6 feet tall, and at the very back, that's 5 feet tall back there. So it's a 1 foot slope over six feet, which is plenty for how the size of this.
Would this be a picket fence DIY?
Yes. Another picket fence project.
DIY.
I love picket fences. I love using this stuff for all kinds of stuff. It's cheap. It's good to be outside. You don't have to treat it any further than it's already treated. It's easy to work with. All right, we got to keep going. Okay, one more thing before we get moving on this project. If you're doing this, even any kind of version of this, make sure you switch your angle on your next wall, your next side wall, or you'll have 2 identical walls that won't match up. They'll both be for one side. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So when I originally built this wall, I was assuming I was building this wall here, but actually this is actually going to be the wall that goes over here. So I'm going to have to flip this angle up here on my next build so that it'll be on the other side. You see what I'm saying?
That needs to be on the inside of your actual pin.
Yeah. So if you'll remember on the last build, I had my straight pieces lined up here, and this was my angle, right? But my angle was going this way. So now just make sure your angle goes the opposite direction on the same side. It can still be over here on this side. Just make sure it's going the opposite direction so that you'll have 2 opposite walls. Same angle, just opposite directions. Hopefully that makes sense to you. But I wanted to pass that along if you are doing a project similar to this, or even if you do a version of this project, just make sure you flip that angle or you'll end up with 2 identical walls. Okay, I'm not gonna show you me building this one, so I'm gonna knock it out real quick and then we'll get to the back wall. Okay, we're gonna continue on with building this butt cut. We're gonna start building the back wall. I'm gonna show you the 2 side walls I have built. So here's of course the goats have to stand on it and poop on it. This is the first one I built, and then over here is the second one. I had to get in the shade. So yesterday it started getting really hot, had to get in the shade to finish this one. I'm gonna build the rest of these in the shade. And then we also had to leave. So this is day number 2 on the butt cut. Braxton's prom was last night, and we had to get all dressed up, fancied up, and go out with him and take some pictures and things like that. And that will actually be a video on our other channel, Fowler Family Fun. So make sure you go over and check that out as well. So originally I talked about how my back wall, like these are 6 feet long, this one here and the other side wall. I originally talked about how the back wall was going to be 4 feet 8 inches, but what I've decided to do is actually measure 10 of these, 10 pickets, and whatever that came out to be, that would be the width of my back wall. So it came out to 57, almost 57 inches. So what I'm going to do is cut my 2x4 at 4 1/4 short of that 57 inches. It's actually 56 7/8. But I'm going to cut it 4 1/4 inches short of that, because at the end of this, you'll see what I'm doing this for. I'm actually going to overlap my picket on the side walls with that 2x4, and you'll see it. It's kind of hard to explain. I think it's going to be way easier just to show you. So I'm going to cut two 2x4s real quick at 52 5/8. Chip, what are you doing? Don't get in my way. You stink. You are a stinky dude right now. I got the ducks here and the goats. Being destructive. He wants in there. All right, let me go open that up so he can get in there. So I had to go take that panel down. We tried to pin him up overnight. It doesn't work. He just busts through it. It's too big of an opening with no support when that cattle panel's up there. But that's where his water's at. So he wanted in there to get a drink. Oh Lord, look at Megatron. These two bucks have so much sexual tension right now, it's stupid. That's what that was. All right, let's get back to this build. I gotta hurry up and get this done, because they keep getting around the females, smelling the females. Makes all this even worse. Okay, so this is my idea to support this wall. Instead of putting permanent posts in here in the ground, I want to be able to move this down the road. So I'm just going to support it with T-post at the end, each end, on each wall. And then I will tie the back wall into these two side walls. Plus we'll have the roof supports up here holding everything together as well. I think it'll be sturdy enough. Just depends on how much they beat it up. If they start beating it up pretty on the regular, you know, like all the time, I'll have to come up with something different. But if they just use this for getting out of the weather, I think it'll be fine. That way I can move it down the road and I don't have to pull up permanent posts and stuff like that. It's way less work this way as well. I'm going to drive this T-post in real quick and get that one in as well and come right back to y'all. Okay, so I went ahead and knocked something out real quick. I added this another support 2x4 right here. It's actually 40 inches from the bottom to the middle of the 2x4. And that's about where I want to brace it with this T-post. I'll be bracing it there and down there. And then on this end, and then in the middle, but on the back side. All right, I just gotta keep working. I actually did this one too, so you can see that extra brace is there. If you're building something similar to this, I'd go ahead and knock this out, because if your span is too far, too great, those pickets just won't hold up, I don't think. I don't believe they'll hold up good enough. And I knew that when I started building this. I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to put another brace in here, but it's much better with the 3 of them in there now. It's like a real fence panel. Okay, I forgot to turn the camera on, but so this is one of the 2x4s I just got through cutting a while ago that is 52 5/8. Obviously the other one was gonna go up here, but I can do it here as well, either way. But I go ahead and screw these in. I butt them up like that, a butt joint, okay? And then I use 3-inch screws to screw in there. That's plenty of length. And then obviously my ground's not level, so, because those boards are put on at the same spot. So we'll adjust this here in a minute and fix it. But we're gonna go ahead and attach these two before I put all my pickets right here on. Doesn't have to be perfect.
Over here. Somewhere. Oh, over there. You need a belt, Mr. Fowler. You have a belt, Mr. Fowler.
Purchased by another Fowler.
Yep.
Haha.
He's gonna think you don't like it.
I know.
You just gotta get used to wearing it and get in the habit. The duck came to see you. Lori came to see you.
They've all been over here to see me.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, don't you have food today? What's up with that?
I already fed them. I fed the chickens too.
Good job. Good job.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm no longer wearing pants.
Don't say that because all we could see was your face. Okay, there you go. Now go ahead.
So I'm no longer wearing pants. It is 78 degrees out here, but I promise you it feels like 100. It is so humid. I was just drenched in sweat and I had to switch into shorts. So we're gonna add one more of the 52 5/8 to the front side of the lean-to, so we can kind of square the front side up as well. Come on, Mama. I need your assistance.
Okey-doke. Let me make sure this is straight. All right.
Uh-oh. Just lost my bit. It's gold.
In yellow grass.
Yeah.
And it could be anywhere?
Are you already recording?
Yeah.
Let me turn that off, because it's going to take me a minute.
Gotta find the gold screw bit.
I dropped my bit. Gotta find it. Found it. It's one of those ones without the lock on the back side, so it just slides right out.
It only took just a couple minutes.
Yeah, just a couple minutes.
This one?
Yeah, inside.
Oh, on the inside.
Okay, so obviously y'all probably know that that's not gonna stay there. That's just there to help square this hut up. So like, I need to redo this one. It didn't cinch up good enough. See the gap? So I'm gonna loosen those, redo them. It should be able to cinch up better now. Because originally, this was too far this way. That's why this corner wouldn't cinch up. Now, they should be squared. Okay, so here's my third support brace for the back. On this one, I don't want to go at the angle of these two boards. I don't want to flush it with this angle. And the reason I don't want to do that is because it's got to support the pickets. So I want it flush with these, which means flush with this back piece here. So all I got to do is use my square and make sure it's touching here, and then make sure the top is at the top of this board. Right there. So I'm gonna screw it in right there.
You might need that. Oh my word.
I should have got me one that has a lock on the end of it.
Or put some paper or something in the end of it so you can shove it down in there. It's right here.
That's not what it's for.
Here, it's right here.
You see it? I did not bring the right bit. Let me show you all the difference. Just so you know my frustration. See how that has that on there, the bevel on the end, that locks it. This doesn't have it, so it just slides right out. But I was too lazy to go in and get a different one. Well, it's too far to walk is really the problem. Look at that, y'all. It's like spot on level. Pretty impressive. I really thought it was crooked because my ground doesn't look very level right here. By the way, all my T-posts are in except for this outside corner.
Hi YouTube family on Facebook.
That's right. Hi Facebook.
Millie.
Hi YouTube. Millie and Rai Rai says hi.
How did you get out here?
You let her out, I bet.
Yeah. And that? You stay
Okay, so I've put one picket on, and So now you see why this 2x4 didn't go past. It just put it up against it because I wanted to overlap this to where it made a clean corner. So it's flush. So all I gotta do is just keep putting pickets right through here, and I should end up with this last picket flush. Unless they're all different sizes, which is possible. They're not perfect. Just butt it right up against this one.
I have a kush. I have a kush.
No. I meant put this on the box. Yeah, it's already cracked. That's the bad end. And I didn't cut.
Like that way? Or you want to butt it up against?
Yeah, I want these flush. Yeah.
I want to help.
You want to help, Hooray?
Yeah. I want to help, Nana.
We're just picking these up and giving them to Papa.
Here, Papa.
Thank you, little girl.
I'm not a little girl, I'm a big girl. Here, you hand them to me, and then Nana will hold them for Papa.
It's crooked. It's crooked.
It's all right. Did we miss any?
I think we're done.
I think you got to do
Oh, I gotta do the
all
top.
the top row.
I only put one in the top. I gotta finish that, and then we'll be done.
Such as my son.
Are you the goat? Yep.
He is
As
the
in the
goat.
greatest of all time, or?
Yeah.
That was not the goat. Do the real goat. Get up here and do it. No, come over here and show me the real goat.
Nope.
Come
You're
on.
asking.
Come on.
Now you're asking.
I asked yesterday.
I can't do it on. I just did it. Yeah, I just did it. I
He
can't
said,
do it on.
eh.
I can't do it on demand.
All right, so all three sides are up and complete. Looks good. Nothing wrong with that. Like I said, I will put a T-post in the corner right here, and that T-post is what's going to attach my electric fence. It'll go this way, but it'll also help secure the house, the buck house. Then I'll put another one probably about right here, not in the middle, but right here, mainly because each corner in the back will have two, one on the inside, one on the outside, and then the front has one on the inside. You can see those. So that's the size. That's big enough for one adult goat, which is what it's made for, or 5 or 6 little baby goats. If I turn this into a little buckling pen, that'll be perfect for little bucklings. All right, so now what I got to work on is the rafters up here for the roof, and the roof is going to be tin, metal tin roof. Obviously, you've seen the slope already. If you've built this with me, then you've built the slope. You know the rain will go off and outside of the pen. And you actually could collect that water if you use some guttering and rain barrel or something. You could collect water off of that. You're not going to get a whole lot, but you'll get some. Okay, so what I'm working on now is the top rafters. I got this front one in right here. So I'm going to put 2 more in. That way when I put my metal roof in, which is right here, all I got to do is just screw it into those rafters. Should be nice and tight. It should be really good. Shouldn't be any issues with that. And then also, let me show you what I did here. I used these kind of straps. They're shaped like this when you start, but I get them stretched across there and get them really tight. I have not done these two yet, so I'll show you when I get those done. I'll show you me doing those. I was going to use these anchors for these rafters, but honestly, I don't think I'm going to need them. I'm going to save those. So there's one of these. Again, it usually is shaped like this. I do it on the top and the bottom. I've also done it right here to hold this one in place as well. So that's sturdy. I mean, that's not going anywhere. And once I get all of it tied in, it shouldn't move much at all. I mean, it's going to have a little shake to it, but I don't think it's going to be bad. Looking pretty good though. One other thing, this rafter here is the exact same length as these 3 support braces back here. For me, that is 52 inches and 5/8. So all those are gonna be the same length. That way the distance between this outside wall and this outside wall is the same from front to back all the way to the bottom. Okay, so all 3 rafters are in. Now I'll just be able to cut this right here. This, as y'all can see, if you follow my channel, same color as my shops, it's just extra. So that's what I'm gonna use. I didn't have to go out and buy stuff. And this is 15 feet long. Obviously this is only 6 feet long, but I'm gonna have a slight overhang on both sides. So I'll probably cut right at 7. Actually, I'll probably just cut this in half. That way I'll have probably 1/2 foot hanging out here and maybe 1.5 foot over here. Like I was saying though, this is 3 feet wide. That is 5 feet wide. So I'll have to overlap, and I'll actually, so that I don't cut myself too often, I'm actually gonna try to maybe have like 1 inch hanging over on this side and probably 1 foot on this side. Just simply because I'll be walking in and out of here, this gate, a lot. So I really don't want too much overhang right here because I'll end up cutting myself. I know I will. Wanna? She said, yep, you will. These cutters cut pretty good, and they are old, but they're still cutting pretty good. And I don't know where my cutting wheel's at, so. Actually, I know where the tool's at. I don't know where the actual cutter is.
Kind of easier.
No, this is not easier.
Well, okay. It's easier on me, I guess.
This will get it done.
There's skeeters out here, and they're honker skeeters. Biggest mosquitoes I've ever seen. That's gonna fall. Okay, so my hump's not the same as your humps.
Is that what you meant to say?
That didn't sound right.
I don't think your humps are supposed to be the same as mine.
I'm talking about the hump on this.
Uh-huh.
This hump's not the same as that one down there, so you have to scoot yours that way.
Yeah, well.
This is good.
Okay. We're standing on the lawnmower, so I don't have to go get a ladder. So we are using self-tapping metal screws, but they're for wood. So they go into wood, but they'll go through the metal. And they have the little rubber piece on the, before the bolt head, so that way water can't get into it. Perfect. Okay, y'all, we're down to the nitty gritty. So I wanted to show y'all, I told you I was going to show you how to do this. This is what it looks like when you go buy it at Lowe's. Hopefully that focuses. It's just called galvanized tube strap is all it's called. They're like 96 cents a piece. That's the 1.5 inch size. This is what it looks like. So what I do is I straighten one of them. I straighten it out like that. And then this is the second screw I'm going to put in. So I'm going to flatten where that screw goes out. I'm just going to bend it out, okay? All you got to do is put your first screw in. Just screw it in here. Okay, so it's going to look like that. Now you're just going to bend it over, okay? And bend it across. Take your second screw and just kind of try to reach out a little bit with this screw so it gets tight. There you go. Let me bring you in close. And that is snug, y'all. That's not going anywhere. That's as tight as it can get. So like I said in the beginning of this build video, this is not permanent. If you need a permanent structure, build this same thing, but put permanent stakes here. Like cement in some 3x3 or 4x4 posts. I don't want this to be permanent. It is, I mean, it's not really flimsy. It's solid. It's not going anywhere. 100 mile, I'm videoing.
He's right here.
Hold on. So this is not gonna go anywhere. This is snug. 100-mile-an-hour wind might get this, but we have those once every 30 years. Well, Oklahoma, once every 10 years. Maybe.
Are you sure you're staying in the shade?
I'm in the shade.
Okay, good.
Okay, y'all, this is a complete project. I probably will add some more screws up here in the middle. If y'all see, I'm missing some right there in the middle. I just didn't want to go get my ladder. That's the overhang on this side. I do have some J trim I'm going to use, or some C trim. Brendan, kind of shake that a little bit. Let's see how sturdy it is.
Oh, see, I moved away from it just in case it fell down.
It's pretty sturdy, isn't it?
It is.
I mean, just for a quick build, you can do this in a
Oh,
day.
no, it is really sturdy.
And I still haven't put the T-post that I wanted to put right here in the middle on the outside. So that'll even secure it up even more.
I don't like it though. It would be ugly.
Honestly, it's good enough
don't
the way it
need it.
is. You do see some gaps, some air go in the back there, but I'm not too worried about that. If it becomes a problem, I can always put some strapping over it to cover that up.
Some hay in there will give him some bedding.
Yep. Yeah, we will add some hay in this so the grass will go away. He'll sleep here eventually.
Am I in the way?
Well, the sun glare is getting me. So that is plenty big enough, y'all, for one adult goat or several little bucklings. All right, hopefully y'all enjoyed this build video. Hopefully you got something out of it. Even if you don't go by my specs, probably some good ideas in this build. Just remember, this is temporary because I want to move it.
Oh, whoops.
Not yet. Just remember, this is my temporary version. You can always build this permanent with permanent stakes in the ground or permanent posts. We'll see you guys on the next build. Remember,
Do the good.
do the good.